So firstly, I'd just like to welcome you all to today's webinar. We've got some new people joining us today, as well as some regular faces, so just welcome everybody. For those of you who are new to us, My HR Toolkit provides HR software to help small to medium-sized businesses streamline their staff management activities like booking in holidays, tracking absence, managing training and performance. And for those of you who don't know, we also have a partner program that works directly with both independent HR consultants and HR consultancies. And just to give you a bit more information on this, our program enables partners to extend their service offering and give extra value to their clients with an HR software product, as well as receiving an attractive, generous revenue share. We currently have over 400 partners on board. So if you're interested in joining our partner program, we'll pop a link into the chat with details as to how you can apply. So in today's webinar on marketing your HR consultancy 101, we'll be breaking down how HR consultants can improve their marketing efforts. So specifically, we'll be discussing the importance of understanding your clientele, how to increase tailored traffic to your website, steps to establish your expertise, and actively engage in your existing client base. So the presentation will last around 20 minutes. We'll also have time to answer your questions at the end. So if you've got any questions, pop them into the Q&A box, and feel free to join into the chat as you go along. But if you do have any questions, just make sure they go into the Q&A box and then we won't miss them. We've also got a variety of handy resources for HR consultants. So there's an ultimate marketing guide. We'll also put a link into the chat about that, but we'll also follow that up in an email after the webinar. So here this morning to talk about marketing your HR consultancy 101 is our senior marketing executive, Hannah Wheater. In Hannah's previous role at Be More Social, she was responsible for coaching business owners on their digital marketing strategy. She joined Toolkit at the end of 2020, and here she's responsible for our partner marketing with our existing partner network of HR consultants. So we'll just start the screen share now and welcome Hannah.
Great, good morning everyone. I hope everyone can see me okay. And can Fiona to check, can you see my slides all right?
Yeah, I can see. Perfect,
thank you. So good morning everyone. As Fiona mentioned, I'm Hannah Wheater, I'm a Senior Marketing Executive at myHR Toolkit, and today we're going to be talking about marketing your HR Consultancy 101. So please do get involved in the chat, or if you've got any questions as you go along, please put them in the Q&A box provided. So today's agenda, a bit of a breakdown. What we're going to look at is the importance of understanding your clientele, how to increase tailored traffic to your website, steps to establish your expertise, and finally, actively engaging your existing client base. And then finally, as mentioned, we've got a Q&A session. So any marketing related questions, please just throw them our way. I'm sure me and Fiona can help answer any related ones. So just to start with, we're going to release a poll. You should get a pop-up in 1 second. Just some information really for us to see, are you currently partnering with a HR software provider? So you should receive that poll now. If you could just take a minute to answer that. There we go. So if you can just take a second to answer that, that'd be great. Perfect, that's great. So we'll start on with the presentation. So to start with, we're going to look at the importance of understanding your clientele. I'm sure as independent HR consultants or HR consultants working in HR consultancy firms, you'll be aware of your clientele, but if we are going to look at marketing your HR consultancy 101 today, we really need to look at the first step to marketing, which is really understanding your clientele. So today, the first sort of steps to really understand how to identify your clientele. HR consultants specifically need to understand exactly what the size of their ideal client is. Are they a large organisation? Are they small? and specifically how many employees do you want to target? Are they an SME or a large organisation? What is your ideal clientele? Secondly, you want to look at their pain points. Are there specific things that they look for? If you've spoken to clients in the past about why they've come to you, try and look from there. Are there any reasons why clients approach you? Are there any pain points they've expressed to you? Are there any pain points that you can help sort of fix them for? And also you need to look at the industry they operate in. Are you a HR consultant that provides general advice to any organisation, different industries, or do you niche down on specific industries yourself? So obviously you'll do that from your own research that you've done as a HR consultant when you started up, but also have a look at the industries that your existing clients are in. Do you have a trend of people that, I don't know, work in construction? Are the majority of your clients working in general office environments? Have a look into your existing customers and analyse if there are any industries that you could specialise in or target in the future. Look at what services your clients need resolving, your ideal client might need resolving. Is there anything that aligns with the services that you currently provide? Is there anything that they will need resolving in terms of their services? Or what are the services that your clients come to you for? And then finally, it's their location. And this is a really sort of specific thing to HR consultants. As Fiona mentioned in our partner programme, we've got many consultants that are either one-man bands and they work with local small businesses for HR consulting services, or they are larger national HR consultancy firms that may provide remote HR services, and they can provide it to national SMEs or national large organisations. So their location is a really important factor to consider as a HR consultant. So those are the sort of 5 things that you really need to nail down in order to get your ideal client in operation. We're moving on to why is it important to understand your clientele. So for an organisation, it goes without saying, it gives you clarity and focus. May provide different HR services or specialise in different areas. So it's really important to understand that competition, but more importantly, understand your HR services and how you might position your brand in relation to other brands, as well as to potential new clients. And going back to the pain points that we can identify from clients, it's really important to understand how your business can help, your business and business services can help your clients to fix those pain points. So with this specifically, it's important to understand what messaging you can put out either on your website or testimonials you can link to how you've helped your clients with those pain points and relieve that stress. And finally, as I mentioned, the most important thing about understanding your clientele is that you can analyse what marketing activities to prioritise to get attention of those new clients. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. Firstly, sort of one specific thing to look at is increased tailored traffic to your website. So this is something that you can do either if you've created the website yourself or you've worked with a company to build their website. It's really important things to understand to get the fundamental knowledge for you to know how you can manage that website or guide someone that's helping you to build your website for you. So to start with the increased tailored traffic to the website, most important thing to really understand about today's session on website optimization is the use of SEO. So SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it's a way to increase tailored traffic to your website. So a bit of a definition here for anyone that's new to SEO. So search engine optimization is the process of improving the quality and quantity of website traffic to a website or web page from search engines. As we find that many business services are searched for and sought for online. It's a really important factor, especially as a HR consultant, you're providing services and advertising them on your website and online. HR consultants specifically will be looking at how you can use SEO to increase tailored traffic to your website through using local SEO efforts and using keywords in building your website. To start with, we'll look at optimizing your website. To start with on this, there's something we refer to as meta content. So meta content either refers to the page title. So as you can see here, where my mouse is, we've got this tick, and we've got up to 60 characters we recommend using of sort of a brief rundown of what your services is, or a snapshot of what you can do. So for example, it may be HR consulting for small businesses if you are providing broader ranges of services on a national level, or it could be something like HR consulting Sheffield or a local area there. And then secondly, with the meta content, we have meta descriptions. So you'll see this on any search engine. If you type in any query, you'll have this sort of breakdown here, especially on sort of Google. So you have the web address, this page title here, and then the meta description here. So we recommend that you use probably about 160 characters. So a really sort of short description of what your services are, what you sort of strive to achieve, or information about where you're based or what you specialise in. So with this, it's really good to have a little brainstorm as independently or as a group of what keywords or key messaging sums up your business, and optimise that meta content there. Also on optimization of your website, we've got content optimization. So this can be sort of uploading images that have got small file sizes, or having different content on your website. We've also got headings and nesting structures. So for anyone that's new to web building, this might sound like I'm speaking Spanish, but for headings and nesting structures, you want to have a really clear, organised layout to your website. So if you've got your home page, you want to make sure that the links link to each of the individual pages, sort of like a nesting structure, if you like. Similarly to this, when you're building or optimizing your website, you want to consider something called sort of H tags. So for example, we've got H1 tags, H2, H3, H4, sort of 4 and onwards. Essentially, this is indicating to search engines what key information you're having on your website. So if you had your H1 tag, would be your key title on your page. So this would be sort of really capturing to website search engine or crawlers that this is what you want to advertise, this is what this page is about. And then H2 and H3 may be subsections of your website. So it might be a blog relating to different content subjects, or on your website itself relating to different services that you provide, etc. You've also got lists. So if you don't use this at your website already, it would be good to use up to refresher content and optimize it a bit more. So you can have a breakdown or bullet points on your websites, for example, when you provide your services or other areas of your website. As mentioned before, we've got multimedia. So if we can optimize image files such as images, videos, infographics, any sort of multimedia that you've got on your website needs to make sure it's not a huge file size that might slow down your website speed, but it's up to date and of a good resolution, so your customers can see that clearly on your website pages. And then we've got, as mentioned before, internal linking. So making sure that your website pages are up to date and they all link to the specific areas you need to link to. So for example, make sure you can go on yourself to your website and check in. If you go to your home page and then click on contact us, it should go to the correct contact us page, or vice versa for different pages on your website. Just want to make sure that that internal linking is up to date for search engines to crawl and to improve your SEO, but also so that new clients and existing clients can navigate to your website and on your website correctly, and they don't get lost and frustrated along the way. Also, with optimizing your website, it's really important to understand keywords, what keywords relate to your business, and how doing some keyword research for your business. So who's searching for what and why? Got to consider in terms of your website, what keywords will people be searching for on search engines? So for example, if you're a local based business, you might be searching for HR services Sheffield. Or if a client is looking for specific search terms such as hybrid working policy advice, if you've got any information or keywords on your website, that's really key. So for an example here, we do it as a broader term, an employer might be asking how to dismiss an employee or dismissal for work. If you are a HR consultant that specialises in these key areas such as dismissal or dismissal processes or policies, you can have a look and see, find your keywords. What keywords are people searching for? What terms people searching for? And how can you use these keywords on your website structure? So here we've got sort of you need your URL. So if you've got this example, how to dismiss an employee, you might find search terms such as, how to dismiss an employee for poor performance, or how to dismiss an employee UK. So you can have a look at URLs coming up, and you can figure out the title tags, headings and text that you need to put in that relates to those key terms. And we've also got keyword variations. So as you can see on this sort of screen here, many of these search terms are relating to the same thing of dismissal at work, but they all have different sort of sentiments to them. So this one's based on poor performance or during probation period. If there are any sort of specializations that you have that you want to put on your website content, it's really important to look at those keyword variations and embed them onto your website. So to put an example here, so it's a bit clearer. So this example here is a blog. If you provide disciplinary procedures, you'll put, and you want that to be the key focus of that content. You'd want to put a H1 tag, that key title tag at the top, on that key message and the keywords that you found. You then want the body of the text to focus around that keywords. So for example here, we've got disciplinary procedures put in the top text there. And then, as mentioned before, using that structure on your website to put like H2 tags on. So for the second title of this page, you can use keyword variations. For example, what is disciplinary procedures? And then here, as we said, you can break up the text with a list to make it a bit more readable for the users, and also to sort of break down different areas. And then finally, we've got internal linking here. So you can relate it to other blog posts you may have published on similar topics, or to sort of your services page on your website here. So if you want to point people in a certain direction after visiting your website, you need to make sure that internal linking is up to date and ready to go. We also sort of move on to local SEO, as many of our HR consultants in our partner programs work on a local basis. So improving local SEO is really important, as it can sort of boost the local clientele that you might get coming to your website. So to start with on this is the best way to sort of improve your local SEO organically and for free is a tool called Google My Business. So if no one's aware of it specifically, it's a bit hidden, but if you go on any search browser, feel free to do it now, and you search for, you can search for my HR Toolkit software or HR Consulting Services Sheffield, for example, you might get a drop-down list or a list on the right-hand side of the screen of a specific provider. So local SEO, you can add images of your company, you can add any Google reviews or ratings. You can also add directories such as your address, your business name, and phone number too. So if anyone is searching for any specific HR service providers or your business directly, they've got that contact information there and the links to your website to get in touch. We've also got sort of local news and websites, so and local keywords too. So for an example here, you might put in HR Consultant Sheffield. Google My Business will then show where the locations of these different HR consulting providers are. And from there, if I was an employer or business owner looking to find a HR consultant to work with, I can then further investigate that one there. So do make sure as well, if you are just a consultant looking to work with businesses in your immediate area, make sure that your website is optimized with keywords, local keywords. So you do want to have in the location of your company somewhere either on your Google My Business or on your website meta description too. Here's an example here, HR outsourcing location, HR consulting near me. All these little searches will provide that user with a pop-up of any HR consulting services near or around them, and a search will direct them to your website. Great, so moving on to steps to establish your expertise. This is something that we've worked with our partners on too. So start with, why is it important to establish your expertise as a HR consultant? So start with, it increases trust from your clients. You become more attractive to new clients. You've got a bit of recommendation behind you. It can also, and really importantly, leverage the price that you can charge if you've got a really high expertise and credibility. Customers or new clients might be absolutely fine receiving a higher charge rate because they're more reassured of the services that you provide. And finally, which is a really great long-term strategy for any growing HR consultant, is that establishing your expertise does develop a positive brand reputation, which is existent throughout the whole time working as a HR consultant. So here's one way to establish your expertise as a HR consultant. We use this example because Effective HRM, as you can see on the screen, they won an award recently, and we were speaking to them, they're our partner, about sort of how they got involved in this and sort of the benefits that led off the back of it. And they were mentioning that it was a really great way to establish their expertise. So you can either attend local business awards or local business events, as well as national industry awards. And the benefits that it can bring is it increases your brand awareness. Local or national businesses just be aware of will have you on their radar. It also establishes your company credibility. And it's also a potential networking opportunity with client prospects. So you may go to these events and similar people of your industry will be in it, fellow HR consultants or consulting services, but there are also local business events can give you the opportunity to speak to and leverage and get to know some people that could be your clientele in the future. We've also got content. Content's a great way to establish your expertise. So this is also a free use of your time. So you can collaborate with businesses on hosting a webinar relating to your industry or collaborating with them on a blog content opportunity. So we do this with our partner network too. We do approach them if they've got, for example, certain specialization that we don't have the sort of knowledge to comment on, such as, for example, the Great Resignation, why it's happening, why from a HR consultant's point of view it might be happening. We've got our partners to write topics on that. we give them sort of links back to their websites, and it really benefits them. So some of the benefits can be for collaborating on webinars and blog content with a brand. It establishes your credibility. It puts you as an authority leader within your organisation. It shows that you've got knowledge on a specific topic. Companies can also provide backlinks to your website, which improves your SEO efforts. So for an example, with the partner we did the Great Resignation blog post on, we do many of them with partners, but with this example, this was a really great topic that many of our SME readers were interested in. And our partner had an opportunity to showcase that knowledge and her sort of authority in the field and have her take on it. And in return, we put a link to her website so that people, if they are interested to learn more about that in particular, or how to retain employees in the future, they have information to sort of get in touch with them, or just find out more general advice that company provides. And also a great opportunity too is if you do have a specialisation, or you have got experience before of hosting webinars or writing blogs, you can approach some companies to get paid for contributing. There are many sort of independent HR journals, such as HR Review or People Management. They've got a lot of blog services online, and they do want fresh perspective from individual HR professionals or people of authority within their field and got knowledge on, and they may approach you and potentially pay you for sharing that expertise and knowledge. So if it's something that you have got time to facilitate, it's a really great way to a lot of benefits that can come off the back of showing your expertise through collaborating on content such as blog and webinars. And also sort of finally on the another way to establish your expertise is through reviews. So gaining reviews is a fantastic way to drive social proof of your website to new clients. And reviews should be part of any process, especially as HR consultants too. You do have to sort of recognise that these business owners will be coming to you and sort of handing you over their baby of their business, and they do want sort of some sort of testament that your business has got credibility. It's got social proof that people have worked with you before and have got a positive experience of working with you, and it should be a part of any process. So that could be when you're onboarding a new client, or after you've sort of finally worked with your client, if it's not on a retained basis, if it's just for a project. It's really great to get into a process of approaching those clients that you've worked with or are working with, and ask them for either a written testimonial on your website, or a video testimonial, or whatever you can gather from them, because it's a really great sort of activity to do as a process of your business. Some benefits, as mentioned with your Google My Business, you have that feature to show any reviews on there. So if you can ask clients to go onto your Google My Business page, leave a review, that will not only give social proof to anyone looking for your services, but it can push you up that ranking for the services in your area. So for example, if I typed in HR Consultants Sheffield and there were 10 different HR consultants that came up, if one of them had 20 5-star reviews and one of them had five five-star reviews, the person with 20 5-star reviews is much more likely to come at the top of that search engine, and as a result they might get more tailored traffic to their website too. So that's really important if you are a HR consultant focusing on local business. There are also really good benefits, just note, is they're reusable. So as long as you've got a review from the client and you've got sort of their permission to use that wherever you need to, you can get that review and put it on your website. You could put it out in flyers or brochures that you may provide to future clients. So they are reusable and they do last a lifetime. Although you may have worked with a client 5-10 years ago, it still has testament to how you are as a person and the professionalism of your HR consultancy services. And also, it's really great to just note that 88% of consumers trust user reviews. So they are a really powerful tool for any brand that wants to leverage expertise and also get some sort of new clientele on off the basis of them trusting the reviews that these clients have left for you. Oh, I didn't realize there's another one. And finally, as mentioned, to wrap it up, is testament to new clients looking to work with you. So if you had 20 5-star reviews and you were comparing that service to the other business with 5 5-star reviews, it's safe to say that most of us would say to go with the 25-star review ones, even if the services were exactly the same and the rates were exactly the same. It's just that extra competition that testament gives new clients to your business, and you become far more attractive to them over other competitors. Moving on to actively engaging your new client base. So as you'll know, as HR consultants, you may work with people on project basis, or most of you will probably work with clients on a retained sort of basis. But companies that successfully engaged with their B2B customers, so business to business customers, realise a 63% lower attribution. So essentially that means that you're far more likely to continue that relationship and that monetary value throughout a much longer period. So if you're actively engaging with your client base, not only are they more likely to have a positive relationship with you, but they're more likely to stay with your business and not look elsewhere. So it's a really important part to implement into your marketing activities and just general business process too. And client relationship is really useful to know, and many on this call may have already received this, but client relationships can also lead to no effort referrals. If you've got a client you've engaged with well, you've built up a great relationship with, and hopefully given great service to, you're very likely to get a lead from that client. They may refer you to another business owner they know, or another organisation that's looking for a similar skill set or outsourced HR services. So it's really important to consider, obviously, to have a great relationship with your clients for just a general nicety, but also it can translate to increased business growth. So it's really important to not just see them as another client, but a potential avenue to increase your revenue. So how to engage your existing client base? So personally, is the personalised contact that is really key, especially as HR consulting is definitely a service that does involve face-to-face activity, whether you are providing remote services or in-house where you visit them regularly. There is some face-to-face contact that needs to be done, and a personalised approach to your marketing too. So it goes without saying, just to make sure you've got regular check-ins set up for your previous clients with email or non-professional social media sites such as LinkedIn. So make sure you've either got a bit of a calendar or a schedule in mind, whether you can set up like a monthly alarm up to make sure you've checked in with that specific client, and take a really personalised approach. Either give them a call, email them, or contact them on professional social media sites such as LinkedIn. You also want to just keep an eye out for key occasions such as business birthdays or seasonal holidays, and send them a small gift in the post if you can. It's a really great way to make a personalised approach. It's also sort of something that people get a lot of joy out of. I know that if I get a random gift in the post I wasn't expecting, my dopamine levels go through the roof. And it's just a really nice way to sort of show your client that you're thinking of them or valuing the relationship that you have with them. So obviously we can't sort of afford to do this on a scale. If you've got 100 clients, you can't afford to send them a £20 hamper, for example. It would be a luxury to do this. But it's really great just to take some time to figure out if there's a personalised gift you can give them, or even just taking the time to make a handwritten card to congratulate them on an event coming up, or a business anniversary, for example. And my biggest sort of suggestion really is that you can send out a load of automated emails or sort of messages to clients too, but we all know them we can all smell them from a mile away sometimes. You'll be able to see that that's been printed on and not written by hand, or it may just have a really general sentiment. And if you've already got that face-to-face relationship with clients, it's great just to take a personalised approach for each client and sort of make a sort of different message for each one. If you've got the time to facilitate that, I think it would go a long way. So that takes us to the end of this session. I feel like I've spoken really quickly. I didn't expect to finish that quickly. But to sort of recap on today's presentation, we've looked at the importance of understanding your clientele, how to increase tailored traffic to your website, steps to establish your expertise, and actively engaging your client base. We have also got the Q&A session coming up. And just a reminder as well, with the sort of session today, I appreciate it's something that some people may have a lot of knowledge on previously, or this may be a complete new fresh start to marketing your HR consultancy services. But we do, as Fiona has put in the chat, have a guide, the ultimate marketing guide for HR consultants, which is a bit more in depth and goes step by step through other marketing activities that you can prioritise as a HR consultant too.
Great, thanks Hannah. So we've had a few questions that have come through. Also, I've just had somebody comment on the chat that we just need to check the download for the ultimate the ultimate marketing guides. There might be a problem with it's linking to another guide, so we'll double check that and make sure that the one that you get in your email is the correct download. So apologies if anybody has downloaded that and you've received something different, but we will sort that out for the email. So we've got a few questions that have come through. So first question, do we have to provide an address for SEO, as I want a home address to be private?
You don't necessarily have to provide an address. I think that it's a good thing to do, especially if you're focused on local client management. But no, not necessarily. With Google My Business, if you're wanting to create a Google My Business account, you can set the location to like a national location, so it can just be UK. But obviously you have to understand that it might sort of unfavour people that are searching for example, HR consultants, Sheffield. So if you can put your address, then I would. One way around this, if you want to put your home address in, you do have the option to upload photos to your Google My Business account. So if you want to put other photos in, people might not be able to, they won't be able to see your address specifically. So that is an option too.
Okay, second question. So can you let me know if Google reviews are anonymous or named?
Yeah, they are named, I believe. I think from a user's point of view, you can leave anonymous reviews if you wish. You may have seen like an anonymous bad review on a website sometimes of people being a bit internet trolls. So you do have the option to either add a anonymous review or leave one in your name, but you have to just if you're directing client to do that, and you want them to leave an anonymous review, then you just have to direct them and ask them to put that on there.
Okay, and are there any free tools you can use for keyword research? And you showed one on one of your slides with the keyword variations. What tool was that you're using?
I have to go back to check. We use SEMrush, which is a paid tool. but many of the keyword search tools have got free trial accounts. So if you're wanting to deep dive into keywords relating to your business, and you've got a bit of an idea in mind of what services you provide, or what keywords you want to have a look at, what people are searching for, I'd recommend being a bit cheeky and just signing up for a free trial, doing a bit of research for a week or I think for a month, however long the free trial is. And you can always sort of delete it after, but it's a great tool to just get navigate and have a look at what people are searching for.
Okay, and final question is, so once I've optimized my website, how can I analyze if it's working, and how long does it take?
That's great to know. It's worth knowing that when you've uploaded or updated web pages, Google has something called crawlers, which isn't as creepy as it sounds. It's just sort of bots that crawl the internet to look for any updated pages or any changes to websites. So this can take a week to sometimes a bit longer for Google to recognise these changes have been updated, but then you should be able to see that there. You can use free tools such as Google Analytics to have a look at the success of your website too. So on there, there are a lot of options you can dive into. But if you're specifically wanting to look at the increase in traffic to your website, you can look at where people have come from and any increase in the number of searches people have made or website visits you've had in a certain amount of time. So that's a great tool to look at if you've not used that before.
Okay, and we've just had another question come through. So how can a small consultancy get more traction on LinkedIn?
Oh, that's a great question. So you can optimize your LinkedIn too with keywords. I recommend definitely doing that. So again, you're local, national, if you provide specialized services, make sure those keywords are either used in sort of the about section of your business. In terms of optimizing it too, you recommend having up-to-date logos that fit the page properly, have a banner or cover image behind it. Make sure if you've got any employees that you can add there listed as employees of your LinkedIn account. And also you can optimize it just through posting regularly. If you don't have the time to facilitate posting it regularly, what I'd recommend is just putting one post up about your services or your business and just pinning it to the top of your board. So you can do that if you see the post, there's 3 dots, you'll be able to see through looking at it, and then there'll be an option to pin the post. This just means that if anybody's coming to your LinkedIn page, they'll be able to just look at that post straight away and see what your service is about and get a bit of a gist of the flavour of your business and the services you provide. But we do also have in the Ultimate Marketing Guide, which we'll be sending out with the correct email in the follow-up email to this webinar. You'll also be able to see some specific tips on social media marketing for HR consultants. So I will recommend everyone to that in the follow-up email.
Okay, I don't think we've got any more questions, so we will leave it there. As Hannah, you've gone through loads of tips. So everyone, please join me in thanking Hannah for her time and expertise. So hopefully we've given you all some food for thought on how to effectively market your HR consultancy. Also, thank you to everyone for your questions. As Hannah said, we'll have a follow-up email. You'll be able to access the full recording of today's webinar with more information on our partner program and a link to some further resources. And yeah, there's also a survey that we'll be sending out that should appear on your browser as you exit the webinar. So please do take some time in answering that, because it's really valuable for us. And, you know, as well, if you want to hear about other marketing topics or anything else, just give us your feedback and then we'll take those on board. So just thanks to everyone for coming today. We hope you enjoyed it and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.